We're the fucking best. How about that? We're not just
Greatest
good, we're
out.
fucking great.
Greatest out,
Fucking
have
great.
been out, and will come out.
Yeah, you know what? The crazy part about it, Jay, we still like we're not even not to say that we're not taking it seriously. We're just kind of like freelancing here. Like we're just fucking blowing with the wind, going with the flow, however you want to call it.
Off
We're
the
just
top
chilling.
of the head. Come on.
Yeah, we're just freestyling, man. We
I'm
ain't get
about
our
to say, if this is what our
production.
freestyles is like, think about if we take the time to sit down and write.
Yeah, the writtens.
Come on.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Since you want to go in that bag, Jay. Since you want to go in the writtens and the freestyles and the in the rap bag, I was thinking something, and it's crazy. I don't know if you was reading my fucking mind. And for the audience, we do not talk about. We do not do any pre-production or anything, like very little, but we don't speak about. So Jason doesn't even know what the fuck I'm about to say.
Zero idea.
Yeah, but now that you said the whole written and freestyle shit, just made me think about some rappers and how they perceive the landscape of hip hop right now, and I'm talking about the older rappers. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little troubling, honestly. Yeah, I heard one. I don't want to say no names, but I heard one rapper, older rapper, and he was like, I think he was about to put a song out or a project out or something, and he was being interviewed, and he said that he wanted the youth to fuck with him. It's like, yeah,
interesting.
I'm just trying to get the youth to fuck with me, and I'm like,
interesting.
Okay, yeah. So I wanted to get your take on shit like that, but you know what? Here's my observation with that. I remember a time, Jay, and I know you do too, when rappers and hip hop artists, we used to raise the youth, the younger up and coming artists, up and comers. We used to actually raise them and dictate to them how the game should be played. But now I see a lot of the older artists are trying to kind of let the youth dictate to them what they need to do. And yeah, I don't understand that. Like, when we were coming up, it was Nas and Karis One and Big Daddy. These dudes, they wasn't yet letting the youth dictate to them. They were dictating to the youth. And I think that's kind of where the game got fucked up, Jay, if you want to think about it like that, like where the older rappers kind of let the young whippersnappers kind of dictate to them how the game should be played. And yeah, I think that was a climate change in hip hop and the message in hip hop too, which is a bigger discussion to be had. What you think about that, Jay?
So I have two thoughts. Number one, there are two different ways of wanting the youth to fuck with you. There is the way of you want to do what it is that you want to do and spread your message, and you want them to hear it and get on your page. And then there is the opposite direction, which I think what you're talking about is the way that a lot of people lean, where people want the youth to fuck with them, so they let the youth dictate what it is that they should do. They let the youth dictate the type of music that they should make, the style in which they should rap, the type of beats that they pick, or whatever the case may be. And I think that is the way that you wind up lost, because like you said, back in the day, like you used to lead the youth in that the younger people looked up to the rappers, and you think this is what it is that I want to be like. You get game from Nas and from DMX and from Tupac and all of that, and they're out there giving out life lessons. Like even Nipsey said, I don't want to listen to nothing that don't got no game in it. And that's how people would be back in the day, is you look to these people who are older than you to kind of give you some sort of guidance, not just entertain you. But again, you listen to the right people. There's life lessons all throughout the music. You saw that T.I., you saw that Jeezy, you saw that Wu-Tang, if you want to go farther back, Ice Cube, all of that. KRS-One, they were offering you guidance, life lessons, and perspectives. And one that comes to mind is Nas. I've been going back through his discography lately, some stuff I hadn't heard for a little while. I even in there, I start hearing stuff. It's like, oh man, I wish I would have picked up on that when I was younger. I wish I would have heard what it is that he was talking about when I was younger. But at the time, like, there's a certain point in time, I'm kind of just listening to music because it's, you know, cool lines and lyrics and all of that whatnot, without really taking away the appropriate messages from that. Like, I'm more focused on the fact that he got some cool chains or fancy clothes or whatever than the fact that he's out here giving real guidance. And I think that a lot of people fall into that category, but it becomes much more of a problem when, especially the older dudes, are neglecting that route, neglecting the guidance in favor of getting on the same page as functionally children, which is absolutely ridiculous. Like, there is no world in which children should be dictating your next move. It's like, if you look back in the day, you'll see the OGs looking at the young dudes talk about what should we do now. It was the OGs keeping the young dudes in check, talk about, nah, you can't just go out here and be recklessly violent. You can't go sell over there. You gotta know how to move, and that's what it was. But now it's flipped, and that's completely ridiculous. And then when you talk about on like the rapper type thing, I'm not specifically saying I've heard this. Like, I'm not saying that Dave East wants to sound like Nas, but when you look at people like back in the day, even somewhat recently, you would have Dave East trying to rap like Nas, not Nas trying to rap like Dave East. Now you have the opposite, which is crazy, is that you have, like, people used to, and again, this is just an example. I'm not saying he said this. I don't think Lil Wayne is trying to rap like anybody. But back in the day, people wanted to rap like Lil Wayne, and now you have Lil Wayne wanting to rap like the people coming out. Again, this is not saying that that's what Lil Wayne is trying to do. It's just to illustrate my point here. But, and that's completely backwards, and that's a regression. Like, you could look at it in one way of trying to keep things fresh and keep up with the trends, but I think that is infinitely a losing way to go. Especially as you get older, as you get farther along, you should be trying to set the trends. You should be trying to show people what it is that you could do. Like, you coming and putting out an album trying to rap like ESTG is insane. Like, that's not what it is that you should be doing. Or, again, I don't really know a lot of the younger rappers, so I'm not trying to target anybody specifically, but you try to come out and rap like the younger people is absolutely crazy, especially as long as you've been around, as long as some people have been around. Like, you should have by now solidified your own style, your own messages, your own whatever. Even like, Lloyd Banks put out an album recently, right? Even Lloyd Banks isn't trying to rap like young Lloyd Banks. Lloyd Banks is rapping like the evolution of Lloyd Banks, which is what he should be doing. As he's gone through life, as he's learned these lessons, as he's evolved. I don't want to hear Lloyd Banks coming out, because like back in the day, Lloyd Banks was like super misogynist, and he's not on that anymore. And I don't want to hear him on that, because he's grown and he's evolved, and that's what I want to see. Like, you want to see these people evolve. Like, we talked about Jeezy before. I don't want Jeezy moving packs across the state. That's crazy. He's damn near 50 years old. Like, I want to hear him talking about what he's talking about. That's what everybody should be doing. And then now there's so few people out doing that, trying to carve their own lane. Like, you got Lloyd Banks, Lupe Fiasco. I saw Pharaoh Monch on the Radar freestyle the other day, and he's still doing his Pharaoh Monch thing, but the evolution of Pharaoh Monch. But it's so few people doing that. And I think I agree with what you said. That's what's missing now, right? It's just entertainment and clicks and streams and who could get the most views, and people were running around poisoning people. Like, I would have said something much different when I was younger. I remember on it was Jay-Z with the ignorant shit, talking about Scarface the movie did more than Scarface the rapper to me. And at one point in time I agreed, but now I don't think so. I don't agree with that at all, because it's this stuff. Like, this is the soundtrack to everything that you're doing. Is what are you putting in your subconscious all day long? Is it positivity? Is it growth? Is it Nas talking about take accountability for your situation? Or is it Sexy Red talking about get naked in the club and do ratchet shit, whatever it is that they got going on. So is it that, or is it positivity? Because that's gonna guide you through everything.
Absolutely.
And again, when I was younger, I would have said that's not the case. I'm not influenced by this, but I could look back and take an objective look at it. That's not true at all. Not
It's
even a
not.
little bit.
It's not. Like you
Everything,
said,
from the way that you talk to the way that you dress to your
yeah,
values, all of this. It's what are
yes,
you consuming constantly?
yeah. And it's rap music. That's what we consume constantly. And like you said, it's the soundtrack to your life. You're in the gym with it, you're in the car with it, you're in the house with it. Your headphones, your car speak, everywhere you go, this is your soundtrack. And it does matter what you listen to. And this discussion is interesting because it kind of makes me wonder, Jay, like even with the older artists, I, their ability, most of these dudes, their ability to read the room is, let's say, like if it was NBA 2K, you know how you put the sliders up, or the John Madden when you put the sliders or whatever. Their awareness, their ability to read the room would be zero. It'd be zero. Like you have no ability, no ability. So it's like, and I say this right. I say it like this, Jay, and let me know what you think about this. Especially the artists that had a previous career, let's say you're 2005 and they're still rapping, 2007 you're still rapping. So you mean to tell me your audience in 2007 hasn't grown? And right, I'm talking about you mentally, in life itself. So you want to obtain a whole new audience. Basically, essentially is what you're saying, because you're doing new music or you're talking to a new
Mm-hmm.
audience. Your audience is grown with you. So if you were 24 and the people who listened to you were a certain age, and 10 years, 10 years have gone by, and you haven't grown. They have though, but you haven't. You will lose that audience, right? At the very least, you should try to maintain that audience and grow mentally with that audience. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of these dudes, they just keep trying to reinvent new music that they hear the kids making, but their audiences has long gone left and went on to the next grown person. So you have to grow with your audience. Your audience should grow
So
with you, and you should grow with your fucking audience.
1,000%. And then even on top of that, if you're constantly reinventing yourself, that you can never perfect your craft. You can never perfect what it is that you do. Because even if we go a different direction, we talk somebody who's been talking the same type stuff since they came out. Look at Pusha T, right? Pusha T has been Pusha T since he came out. Now, but he has grown and evolved his high level luxury drug dealer raps into this thing that he has perfected, because he's taken the time to focus on it and constantly keep growing it. And he's being himself, because from the beginning, he has sounded like nobody but Pusha T. Period. And he decided, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to work on. And this is what I'm going to grow. But sticking with that, even still, he has even gone from a perspective of active drug dealer to kingpin who's learned life lessons and has elevated and whatnot. Like, you don't still, like, the subject matter is similar, but he's not still grinding Pusha T. He's the evolution of that. He's still grown with it. He's still out there giving game and educating people and giving up something of value, just wrapped in a form that certain people can digest. Because we talked before,
Absolutely.
I think it was on the episode that we never put out, but like, some people can't hear the positivity, can't hear the good messages unless it's surrounded by the fact that you have a gun. So those people need to be taught too. And you need to be the appropriate messenger for those people. And so many people who have the ability to be the messenger for those people are rejecting that responsibility or not wanting to shoulder it because they want to just make the people dance still. And again, I know we're not trying to, I'm not really trying to single anybody out, but fuck it, whatever, we're here. Like, Drake is 40 years old now, and he's still making music for people who are drunk texting girls like when they're 22 years old. And that's insane. Like, you should
That's
offer
the
more to
problem.
people. That period.
That's the
You
problem.
should be offering more. You've grown. He's been around for damn near 20 years. Like, where are your life lessons? What have you, how have you grown? Why are you still chasing women like this? Like, this is ridiculous. Either you haven't grown as a person, or you're not looking to further your audience, and both are wrong. You're taking so much from the world, because there are so many people who look to him as a role model. Again, I'm not trying to attack anybody specifically, but whatever.
No, we're
This
just
is where it
talking.
is that we are now. And I think that, especially someone who's been around for so long, you have some sort of responsibility to show people what's possible and what it is that you could do, and try and put some positivity out into the world, especially someone as influential as that, because that would be the perfect example of, I could come out here and I could talk positivity and life lessons and still be huge.
Absolutely. And it's crazy because I part of me believes that's kind of why people would choose another side in a battle. The perception, he hasn't, it's just who he is. Not that it's not even like he got out rapped, or it doesn't matter who he's battling at this point, or who he gets into it with. It's the growth part that people they've lost that connection. And I know people will argue this, he's still the biggest artist, so of course that's to be argued, but there's a lot of other things that go into that also. You know what I'm saying? I don't think people take into account all the things that went into making him the biggest artist in the fucking world, which was not just him alone, other things, right? So you can't take those things away, or you can't discount those things that made him one of the hugest artists. But now, like you said, I believe that the growth part is holding him back. And that doesn't mean he won't still be the biggest artist in the world, because he very well will be. But it's still a disconnect. It's still a
See,
disconnection.
this is, and this is what people get messed up is, yes, he's the biggest artist in the world. That's absolutely fantastic. But McDonald's is the best selling cheeseburger in the world. But that is separate from the quality of it. Palatable and accessible to the majority of people will also limit your impact, because if you speak to everybody, you speak to nobody. Like, I guarantee you there are people who
Run
said
that
you,
back.
if you
Run that
if
back.
you speak to everybody, you speak to nobody. I guarantee you there are people who sit there and send you DMs talking about this bar, this song, this album changed my life, because you're going on a more specific thing. You're actually giving out things that help people out. You talked about you said somebody said something about your darkest hour is only 60 minutes. The one that I say all of the time, you're born looking like your parents, but you go die looking like your life choices. It's these are the things that resonate with people for real. These are the things that actively impact people's life. Like, Drake is a bigger artist than you, than Kevin Gates, than DMX was, but I guarantee you guys have had more impact in a much more meaningful way on people's lives than Hotline Bling. And this is not to disparage Hotline Bling for what it is. It's a club song. That's fine. That's amazing. But what about what's changing people's lives? Like, I've seen Kevin Gates talk about, there are people who came up to him and say, your music is the reason that I didn't kill myself. How many people do you think that Drake has impacted in that same way? Like, large reach and large impact are not the same thing. Like, people will say stuff to me too when I say something, that you would reach more people if you said it in a nicer way. I don't want to. I want to impact the people that need to hear it in the way that I say it, because I was that person once. I don't care. I've heard these broad stroke, you could do whatever you put your mind to, positivity, woo messages all of my life. And none of it resonated with me until I heard it worded a certain way. So I word things in the way that I would need to hear them in order to receive them. So yeah, more people will reject it than if I said it in a more positive way, but more people will also take it and do something with it this way. And that's what matters at the end of the day. People get everything fucked up off of views and numbers and likes and all of that whatnot. It's not about who gets the most out of that. It is about who inspires and has the biggest impact, who affected change in this world, who made a difference, who did something, who changed the trajectory of someone's life, who got somebody sober, who stopped somebody from killing themselves, who inspired somebody to get right so they could take care of their family. These are the things that matter at the end of the day, not who made the most people dance, not whose song got spun the most. Who cares if nothing happened from it?
That's a fact, man. And this whole statistic culture it stinks, right? The numbers and look at this and look at that, the research, and I know this is a totally different topic, but I don't know if you watched. I was watching Candace Owens fucking against the 20 feminists and debating, and all they had was statistics. Well, the statistics say, well, researchers say this, and I'm like, this has to stop. Jay, this has to stop. Everybody is going off of someone else's statistics and thinking numbers can't be skewed or can't skewer your outlook on things. That's what they're. And I've always hated this quote too, Jay. That numbers don't lie, people do. I hate that quote because yeah, it's correct. Numbers don't lie. People lie. But if people are creating the numbers, then the fucking numbers can lie too, man. And you can use numbers and statistics to prove your agenda or your narrative. It's not even fucking hard, man. It's not even fucking hard. So it's like for you to use metrics or analytics to say that Drake is the bigger artist, that's no shit, Sherlock. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no shit, Sherlock. Yeah, he's the big artist, but like you said, it's how do you measure impact? How do you do that? So going back to the point with Candace, and she said something like, I would bet that if a woman was on her deathbed, she wouldn't be talking about her career. She would probably be asking for her children, or if she had any, or wishing that she did have any, or wishing that she had anyone by her bedside to even see that she was dying. It wouldn't be, yo, I did a great job at web tech or wherever the fuck she worked. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're arguing. Well, statistics say that, like, yo, you can't use your own brain to see that she's right. Like, just use your own discernment. Like, yeah, if I was on my deathbed, I probably wouldn't be talking about my fucking managerial fucking position at web tech or wherever the fuck you work. That wouldn't be my last thought, Jay. Matter of fact, I might be regretting how much I worked. I wish I didn't work so much. That might be your only thing that you bring up pertaining to a career. And they would argue this with statistics and metrics and analytics and shit like that, and research and studies. This culture, the study, analytics, research, metrics, all that shit, of course, is useful. We all could play Moneyball and use Moneyball in our everyday life to improve it. But dog, that shouldn't be your only metric. You do have to use some type of intuition when it comes to life.
So I hate this study and this statistic thing that people have, and they just well, studies say this and studies say that, and who cares? And the problem with this is, if you dispute it, people will sit there and say, oh, you think you know better than science? You don't trust the science? Here's the thing. People have conflated this idea of trusting science with believing scientists. Those are two wildly different things, because exactly what it is, we could go to this quote here. numbers don't lie, people do. Okay, but people use numbers to lie. People lie about numbers. Like this is a very straightforward and simple thing. And then they have this, well, this is what the double blind peer reviewed audit people can be bought. Who knows? Who actually knows this here? You can look at any industry and you will see a very, very large collection of people who are obviously bought and paid for doing stuff.
FDA?
And they will push whatever narrative. What?
FDA, for one.
Exactly. And they will push whatever narrative it is that they are told that they need to push. And then, because another problem with this is you could take a study and you could find a study that says anything. I can go find a study that says meat is good. I could go find a study that says meat is bad. I could go find studies on working out that say high volume is good. I could find some that say low volume is good. I could find studies that say veganism is great. I could find studies that say veganism is terrible. You could find all of these things. I could find studies that say fats are amazing and fats are evil. Carbs are great. Carbs are evil. So the question becomes then, at some point, why do all of these studies exist? If they're all contradictory, is it to give you information or is it simply to confuse you? Because and then further than that, how do you decide which study it is that you would like to follow? It's the one that you were told that is the one that should be listed. Nope, this one's right. All of the rest of them are flawed. All of the rest of them are missing data. And it just so happens that all of these studies all coincide with mainstream narratives. Isn't that ironic? When's the last time you heard somebody get on the news and say there was a study for this long, but now we've realized that's not true, except about cigarettes when they could no longer deny that they were bad for you. But back in the day, doctors endorsed cigarettes. Back in the day, the food pyramid had bread at the bottom because of the bread lobby. Like these are well-known things. These are not conspiracy theories. The dairy people had the milk and all that whatnot placed somewhere, and they were in charge of all of these got milk ads and acting like it's the greatest thing in the world because of lobbying. Like these are not conspiracy theory. Why do you think this stuff just stopped? It's the same exact people who will sit there and say big corporations are evil, big pharma is evil, but also all of their medicine is good. And all of the medicines that they offer you for your sadness is good. Why do you think that? Why do you not believe, like, why is it so hard for you to believe that this corporation who profits off of you being sick found an easy way in order to infinitely sell you pills by telling you that if you're sad, you need pills? Like, because this is a very nebulous concept. You look at the symptoms of depression, it's everything. Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you bored? Are you always entertained? Then you're depressed. You have something and you need some sort of pills. But for some reason, people can't wrap their head around this idea and think, maybe they're lying to us here too. Back in the day, they used to give people sunlight to help them heal from illness. Now sunlight's evil and sunlight will give you cancer unless you go buy this lotion and rub it all over you. It's absolute insanity. So people go with this. They could flate the science and scientists and then act like they actually know a thing. And then when you take the statistics side of it, statistics are very, very easy to skew. Like if you or to use to be whatever it is that you would like them to be. Like you hear people say 95% of New Year's resolutions fail. And then people take that to say New Year's resolutions don't work. That's not true. 95% of people just can't commit to shit. So they make a New Year's resolution and they don't stick to it. Therefore, their New Year's resolution fails. But that doesn't mean New Year's resolutions are doomed to fail. Same thing with the 52% of marriages end in divorce. So it's a failed institution. That's not true. 52% of people just suck and can't commit to anything. 52% of people can't figure out how to hit the accelerator on their car when the light turns green. What makes you think that they could commit to being with somebody for the remainder of their life? It's nonsense. And they take all of these and they use all of these things to convince you that you can't believe what it is that you see with your own eyes. Like I bring this one up all of the time, but there was a thing with the Skittles about all Skittles taste the same. You've been eating Skittles your whole life. I know good and goddamn well that's not true. I know these Skittles taste different. I've eaten them. I've eaten them forever. I don't like certain colors. I like certain other colors. What are you talking about? And people will sit there and argue it because they read, nope, science. I don't care what it says. I've eaten these, motherfucker, and I know they taste different. Period.
Yeah, period. And we've brought up certain studies on this show. I forgot a couple of episodes ago we talked about I forgot the name of it, with the guy with the lines on the board and showing each
Ash conformity experiments.
Ash conformity, yes. Ash conformity. And that's what this shit is, man. Look, I got a metric for you, Jay, and it never fucking fails. I know when someone's bullshitting, man, and I'll give you the metric right now. If someone and everyone does it, and I'll explain. Everyone, if you volunteer information, if you openly volunteer information, I will think you're bullshitting. If I didn't ask you and you volunteer information, I'll give you an example, Jay. If I go online right now, Jay, and I volunteer this information and say I got an album coming out soon, that means I'm trying to sell you something. I'm volunteering information. You didn't. No one asked me. I just come out. Yo, album coming out soon. Why'd I do that? It's because I wanted you to know, and I volunteered this. So if anyone, and you'll see this all the time online, Jay, people are just, hey, I'm going to the doctor today. It'd be like a motherfucker with one follower. It'd just be like, yo, I'm going to the doctor today. Like, who the fuck asked you, dog? What are you talking about? No, Jay, what the fuck are you talking about, dog? You got 10 followers. Yo, had a bad day at work today. Like, what? Who the fuck asked you, man? We are in the age, not only are we in the analytics and studies and all this, we are in the age of people volunteering information that means absolutely nothing. And if and not only small people do it, everyone does it. The government does it. You better watch out when you see some footage you ain't supposed to see out of nowhere. We didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for George Floyd to be, or I didn't ask for this to be seen, or motherfuckers been dying for years. Why am I seeing this specific person dying? Because it's being volunteered. No one asked for it. Like if you see some exclusive behind the scenes footage, it's not fucking exclusive. You fucking see it. It's being volunteered for you. Someone's trying to manipulate what you know, it's like this. Do we have to keep telling you this? So whenever you see someone volunteering information, this is the metric that I go by, Jay. If look, I'll give you another example, Jay, and I know for sure you know what the fuck I'm talking about. If someone wants to lie to you, Jay, or if they want something from you, they don't know how to start a conversation. What do, Jay? They volunteer information. Hey, John, man, you gonna be able to make it? Instead of just saying no, here goes the voluntary information. Nah, cause I got to pick up my son got a ball game and shit. So he batting 300 and shit. So he finna go to the major leagues. Man, look, I ain't asked you all that, man. I didn't ask you that. So whenever you see someone volunteering information, you better squint your eyes and say and be like, what the fuck is this person doing this for? That's my metric, Jay. That's what I go. That's how I live my life. If you volunteer information to me, I'm going to think you're fucking bullshit, or you're trying to sell me something, or ask me for something.
Yeah, people just throw things out there because they want something to happen. This is the other thing with the studies, right? Why are they telling you this? Why are they giving you these studies? Why are they giving you these statistics? Is it truly, here's the thing, is it truly because they want you to live your best life? Is it because they want you to help you? Why aren't they giving you guidance in this area? Why aren't you learning these things in school? Why aren't you learning what you should eat instead of what dinosaurs ate? Like where is all of this? If they're really just trying to put it out there to help you, why is it this? If if they just want you to know what's going on in the world, why aren't they telling you the rest of the stuff? But they're, nope, the police killed this guy. Oh, they're deporting these people. Oh, this is because they want you to do something with this information. And the idea that the news exists just to tell people what's going on in the world, to tell all of these nobody people what's happening, is absolutely insane. If you work for Walmart, right, and you are a cashier or a shelf stocker or the truck unloader or whatever, do the corporate people offer you news bulletins to tell you about their mergers and the products that they're in talk with and all of that? No, because you don't matter. They don't care what it is that you know. They're just like, hey, go do your thing, stock these shelves, ring these people out, and get on with your business. And at the end of the day, America's a corporation. Feel about that however it is that you would like to feel about that. So what makes you think that the high level corporate people are invested in telling the low level floor workers what it is that's going on? Why would they tell you about their business dealings and what it is that they have going on overseas and their policies and their wars and all of that stuff, unless they wanted you to think something for a reason, unless they wanted to lead you down a certain path, unless they wanted you to not riot and to not overthrow them and to not have a mutiny, and unless they were just trying to placate you? Why would they tell you these things? Common sense says, why would they care if you're informed? They don't need you to know anything. And then people complain all the time. Well, I saw somebody post the other day, we voted against this, we protested, we did all the things that they said that we're supposed to do, and nothing happened. Duh. Because you were supposed to do these things to keep yourself occupied, make you feel like you were doing something, while they went on and did whatever it is that they wanted to do anyway. All of these things, I know this is a mildly different thing, but all of these things are smoke and mirror. Like, why do you think that gay marriage and men becoming women has become a political topic? That's same thing with abortion. These are just things to distract you with and to make you focus. Like, this is insane. Who do you think really cares about this stuff at the end of the day? Do you really think it's that big of an issue if a dude wants to marry a dude, that it has to be a political thing and the people in charge of the country care? They don't care about that. Like, what? This is just to distract you so you could say, oh, we'll go with these people because they support this thing that we feel is important but actually has no bearing on the world whatsoever. Because people are simple and easily misled. This is why they fall for the studies. This is why they fall for the statistics. This is why they fall for the news stories and the announcements and the bulletins and all of this nonsense going on that they want you to focus on. So the question again is always, like we say all the time, why are they showing you these things? Why are they telling you these things? Why are they volunteering this information?
Come on, people. Come on, man. Come on, people. You see it all the time. It's in our everyday life. All they do is volunteer information. All we do is volunteer information. Um, and it's for a purpose. It's to steer you in a certain direction. I do it.
Every
Jay
time.
does it. Everyone does it. Everyone does it. And you better be aware of who's doing it well and for what reason. And for what reason, man? Like, you ever it's like watching your favorite TV show or movie, and it's a fucking action scene, and two dudes start kissing out of nowhere. Like, the fuck you did that for? What you do that for? Oh, you're volunteering. You just now they do it visually, Jay. They're volunteering scenes that come out of nowhere that we didn't need to see. How about this, Jay? And I know you you wanted to comment on that, but I mean, why wouldn't they volunteer the Epstein list? Why wouldn't they volunteer that? Why would they not volunteer to that information? Why? I want to know. This stuff you like, they never volunteer the shit you want to know. You ever thought about that?
So I have thoughts about both of these things. I'll start with the shorter one. So yeah, you watch. Here's an interesting thing, right? You watch movies, two dudes kissing. You watch a TV show. All of a sudden, these women are lesbians and they're adopting lesbian babies, whatever. And interestingly enough, the same people who will say that they're not pushing an agenda when they do that, they're just trying to represent everybody, will also turn around and say that DEI is necessary because these very same corporations that just want to spread the message of man of men being with men and men becoming women. They just want to spread the message and represent everybody, are also not willing to hire black people and Asian people and gay people and women unless they're forced to. Like, these two things these are contradictory. Like, why won't they hire you if they just want to show you love? Like, what are you talking about? Why do they need special programs and laws to be forced to hire you people if they also love you so much that they just want to represent you and put you in their movies and sell to you in their stores? That doesn't make any sense. These two things don't go together. But it is this ideology that allows these completely conflicting beliefs to coexist, even though they make no sense. But the Epstein thing. So this thing as a whole is very interesting because, yeah, like you said, why that everyone wants that, but that's the one thing they're
Everybody.
not willing to tell you. So that, again, this makes you think, are they clearly don't care what you want, because the only thing that you want, they won't give you. So the question then becomes why? And then the question on top of that also becomes, why did they tell you about it in the first place? And this is kind of where I'm at with that whole thing now. Why did they tell you it existed? And then they go into this thing, like recently I sent you the thing about the FBI and the DOJ concluded that he had no secret list. So why did they say that he did? What a weird lie. What a strange thing to lie about. There's this list of all of these secret high-level pedophiles that exists. We've seen it, but we won't give it to you. And then a couple years later, they come back and say, oh, psych, never mind, wasn't real. We never had it. Research says that what we told you we saw was false. And it's just very interesting about the entirety of this thing is very, very interesting to me. And I said a couple episodes ago, at this point, I'm at where I don't believe anything. I don't believe any of this is real. So the whole narrative around all of this is very, very strange. Because again, if there wasn't a list, why'd they say that there was? And if there was a list, why'd they tell you about it? Why any of this?
I mean, someone went to jail. A couple people went to jail. So
sure.
A couple people went to jail. So what my thing is, one or two offenders were arrested, but there were more than two offenders. Someone else needs to be arrested. If it wasn't real, then you arrested two people that shouldn't have been arrested then, kind of, right?
Or you arrested them for something completely different.
Well, that. But then again, why do we even know they were arrested? Well, you just do that shit in private and leave us the fuck alone. Why do we know about this, Jay? But is it the fact that I don't know, this might be a little bit of conspiracy. But they say that they have to show you certain things in order to I don't know. It's like they got to I sent you the clip of they programming. You see the 9/11 thing, and this is not. You see it in cartoons, like cartoons in 1990, 92. You're seeing the towers go down, and I've seen it, and I've read that they have to show you the things that they're doing to you in order for some type of ritual type of shit.
Yeah. Satanists have to tell you what they're doing.
Yeah, some sort of paganism type of deal. I mean, I don't, like you said, who fucking knows? We're just spitballing here. We're just spitballing. But I'm with you, Jay. I don't even know what to believe anymore. So I just leave it alone, because even if it was true, and this is what pisses me off, Jay. If it was true and they came out with, and they said this, there was never any real outrage from me, from other people, and
not enough.
Outrage, not enough for me, and not enough demand. Like, yo, no, hold on, we need to see whatever you're hiding, whatever needs to be seen. We need to see it. And I asked you this. We were sending DMs back and forth. I was like, well, where's Jelaine? Where is she? Can we talk to her? Like, you put a camera in the front. You put a camera in front of everyone else's face. Everyone. I want her to volunteer some information. Maybe she has some. Let's hear something from her. If nothing's true, let's hear her say it. Okay, I told you. I asked you like, where the. This would always bug me too, and I know I'm jumping all over the place, but the most famous person in the world was murdered, Michael Jackson, and we've never talked. No one's ever interviewed the guy who did it. He's home, free, wherever the fuck he is. He's probably swimming with the fishes right now, if you ask me. Probably. Hey Jay, he probably somewhere where Obama's chefs are fucking swimming. He probably somewhere in the ocean, somewhere next to Obama's chefs. But this man did 18 months, right? Conrad Murray did 18 months, came home. No interview. Nobody wants to talk to this guy. That's not interesting. Nobody. Candace, anybody? Could you find? Can't. All right, I'm a challenge because she has enough power. She has wine. She's got Weinstein on this fucking show. Can you get Conrad Murray? Because somebody pull up Conrad Murray and I just want to hear him talk. Why'd you do it, Conrad? How about Jelaine? Wherever the fuck she is. I know she's supposed to be locked up. Can someone talk to her? Can we ask her? Anybody, Jay? Tucker Carlson. Could you send Tucker in there to talk to her? Rogan, somebody.
You know what else is interesting too, with her being supposedly locked up and nobody having heard from her and all of that whatnot, is we get constant updates about what Tory Lanez and Sue Surf and Pooh Shiesty are doing in jail.
That's crazy.
Why are they able to communicate from jail?
That's crazy.
Why are they able to? Freaking Taxstone, you got his whole little shit going in jail. Like what?
That's a fact.
What's the deal? Why are they able to do this? Harvey Weinstein's in jail. We're hearing from him. So why has nobody heard from her in jail? Because right now, clearly, prison is not a barrier to being able to speak, to being able to exist, to being able to talk to people.
Ooh, you might have cracked open something right now, Jay. I didn't even think about that one, Jay.
The only person who disappeared when they went to jail in recent times is Andrew Tate and his brother, because they were in jail in Russia or Romania or some shit. They were in a very different type jail. But American jail, we hear from them people all the time. You know exactly.
Suge Knight talking his ass off.
Suge Knight talking to everybody. Like, come on. What are you talking about? We get it's constant. Tory Lanez putting out albums like from jail.
I want to hear her album.
Exactly. But for some reason,
I want to do a collab.
We've heard nothing about her. We get updates about R. Kelly. We hear about what R. Kelly's doing in jail. We hear about what Diddy's doing in jail, but not her. The news doesn't. No news reporters find this interesting. Nobody is interested to see what she has to say, to see what she's doing, to get an updated picture of her in jail. None of this. Like that's just interesting to me.
That's fucking interesting.
Back in the day, Shine had a XXL interview in jail.
That's a fact.
Come on.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
In the Tupac and Mike Tyson had interview videos in jail.
They did. Yeah. Not her,
but not a peep about her. Even as they continually bring up Jeffrey Epstein with stuff, he's been in and out of the news all year. Still, not a single mention of her. That's weird.
That's weird. And why are we not asking these questions? Well, we are.
Seems weird to me.
We are. We ask these questions, Jay. We just read between the lines. Why aren't more
people asking these questions?
Why are we not outraged, man? Why don't we just want to know what's going on, man?
Why
surface level bullshit.
People threw a temper tantrum for a straight month because Katy Perry went to space. Like, this is what y'all mad about? People were mad that Jeff Bezos had a wedding. This is what y'all mad about, but not this other alleged child trafficking pedophile island. Like, y'all don't care about that. You don't care about that, but
I mean,
Katy Perry on a rocket ship is infuriating. You can't tolerate that.
no one asks the right question. I don't want to say no one, but most people don't ask the correct questions, man. And listen, we're not, like I said, this is not a debate show. We're not debating with anyone. We are simply reading between the lines and trying to explicate what we see. That's all we're trying to do. And this is what we see. And if you disagree, you can't, motherfucker. Matter of fact, you can't fucking disagree because it's fucking true. You don't hear from this woman. You haven't got the list. You are being volunteered information that you don't ask for, information, visual information, audio information, all types of information that you don't ask for. But the things that are most interesting to you or people like us that we want to see, we don't get volunteered that information. So it's not the fact that we're conspiracy theorists or we're going against the grain or the machine. We are just stating factual things. And then we will let
Objective
you decide what you want to
observations.
do with it. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Jay.
so
That's all it
this
is.
I mean this whole entire thing here is nothing but like, I don't have a theory about anything. I don't have a speculation or idea. My train of thought
Me neither.
goes, okay, if they're saying there's no list now, why a few months ago were they saying that there was? Why? And then why are they backtracking it now? Why did they tell you it existed originally if it didn't? Or if it did, why they tell it's nothing but what is going on here. And if there is a list, then still I don't think that the only truthful part is what's on it. So what is on the list? Like, what are any of these things? And it's just us. No matter what the answer to any of these individual questions are, it just creates more questions. And unfortunately, in the world that we live in, we will probably never know the answer. And even if everyone gets outraged and mad, we probably still won't know the answer, but maybe we'll have some step closer to some semblance of truth. Another question that I also wonder too is, I've never seen anybody talk about, but what about the parents of these people who were on this island? Why don't you ever hear any stories of any parents saying my children were taken to this island? What about the parents of all of the children on this island? Where are they? Like, you would think at some point there would be somebody who said my child was over there.
You know what, Jay? I did see a couple of kids that got a little older and spoke out and said that they were there. I did see a couple of I did. I mean, of course, that was like buried. You didn't hear much of it, but I did see a couple. There's a black woman. Well, she's a woman now, but she wasn't a woman then, and she said she was on an island. And there was another Caucasian boy. And they were even on the news, actually, too. That's why I seen the clips. What news platform I don't remember, but yeah, and but the crazy part about it is the black girl, she was on many platforms screaming out, saying, "Yo," and she had specific names. One of them was, and I'm just going off what she said. It's not any persecution coming from me, but she did mention Clinton and his wife. And she was consistent. She was consistent, and I don't hear from her anymore. But yeah, that was a thing. But like you said, the parents, I haven't. That's a great question. I'm sure there are parents all over the world saying, you know, my kid was kidnapped, but we're not going to hear about it. They're not going to volunteer that information. Um, yeah, it's just the whole thing is the whole thing is interesting and kind of. Here's my thing. I got a question too, Jay. And here's what I wonder. Even if we were to get the information, the flight logs, the list, whatever information they had, what then do we do with this information? Then what?
So
Then what, Jay?
if if we're gonna go into speculation world, and let's assume all of this stuff truly exists, and it is what it is that everybody thinks it is. Let's assume all of this is real. Then I would say that part of the reason that for not being willing to release it to the public is because the answer to the and then what question is nothing. I think that the people that, if this is a thing, I think that the people who are on the list are powerful enough that nothing will happen to them. And the problem with that comes in that these people are in power partially because of their anonymity and partially because people go along with what it is that they say. But if it comes to the point that it's highlighted that they were out here doing these, participating in these heinous acts and nothing happens, then it kind of crumbles the whole entire system and people's faith in it and people's belief in it and people's willingness to go along with it. Now, it might not happen all at once, but over time, this is how things collapse. And that's why that would be my thing as to why it is that nobody wants to show it, because if they did, it would lead to the collapse of the systems that they have in place.
Okay. I'm on board with that. Another thing, Jay, man, and look, and this might sound radical, but I don't know who said it. You know, I butcher quotes and shit like that, but someone said this shit, and I kind of agree. Um, People want change. I don't even know that people know what change is, and I don't believe that people are ready to do what it takes for things to change. This might be a little drastic, but I seen someone say the only way things could change is with violence. Um, Throughout history, Jay, the only time things changed is when the people got violent, when people died, whether it be politicians or, and I'm not advocating for any of this stuff. I'm just going off history. Uh, the only time things actually changed is when people got violent, or how much did it change? But whenever something was overthrown or some type of system was overthrown, it was used, violence was used. I think partly that's why they want us as docile as they have us. Because right now, it'll be an easy win if we even decide to choose the violent uh, route, which, you know, I'm not advocating for anything right now. I'm chilling. But it does go play into a part to where why they want us fat, docile, unaggressive, especially the men, right? So that's not my theory, but I do somewhat kind of agree with that ideology to where if you want real change, you might have to do something you're not willing or you don't want to do or normally wouldn't do. If you want a bully to stop bullying you, mostly Jay, you have to whip his ass. You have to whip his ass, Jay.
So this gave me an interesting theory here. So I've heard, it was Judge Joe Brown talking about how the civil rights movement was maybe, if not orchestrated, but furthered by the CIA, because that's what they want to happen. That's what they wanted to happen. It served their agenda, right? Now, if you look back on it historically, it seems like that change was the result of protesting, right? And that gives people the belief that protesting is actually effective. And then nowadays, we said earlier that it seems weird that things like gay marriage are made into political issues, right? But that was also something that people protested and rallied for. And then they passed it. They said, okay, the gay people can get married, which makes it seem like protesting is effective. So it seems to me like they take these things that they don't really care about and convince people that it's a big issue so that they protest for it, and then they can get what it is that they protested for, so that it makes it seem like protesting is effective, so that people will use that as their go-to form of rebellion, so to speak, because it's just a bunch of people walking around with signs and it makes no real difference to anything. They're not out overthrowing anything, but they have this idea from these issues that the protesting has worked for, to say, well, if we protest the right way for the right thing, things will work, things will change. Even though if you look at the vast majority of things that people protest for, doesn't really do anything. But people still have this belief in there because they give them just enough to continue believing in it. They make it seem like certain things work because of protest, so that people have faith in the idea of protesting, so they never truly rebel, so they never turn to the violence, again, like you said, not advocating for violence, but they never turn to the violence that's necessary in order to actually make a change. It also makes me think that the reason that they tell you and put protesting in as your right in the First Amendment is so this is what it is that you turn to when things aren't going your way. So you don't go out and actually do things that make a difference. Like you have people a month ago, whatever the case may be, we actually talked about protesting against Donald Trump. What happened? Nothing. What happened with the people protesting for police reform? Nothing. What happened with the people protesting for abortions? Nothing. What happened with the people protesting against the wars? Nothing. When it really counts, when does it ever change anything? Nobody has protested their way out of war. They didn't protest. They went to Vietnam. People didn't want to do that. World War II, they didn't want to do that. Afghanistan, they did that. All of Gulf War, all of these things. Everyone protested all of these things, and they still happened. People protesting Ukraine. Ukraine's still over there getting bombed. People protested the Palestine-Gaza thing. They're still doing their thing. People probably would have protested bombing, nuking whatever Iran's plants or whatever. They still did it. Doesn't matter. They didn't care. But they've convinced you that this is the way that you make change, because sometimes it works. Sometimes you holding your sign makes a change, even though it really doesn't. These were things that they wanted to happen, and they just said, let's throw them a bone and make them feel like they did something.
Yeah, man.
Just my theory.
I'm gonna go. I mean, it sounds good to me, Jay, man. It sounds good to me. Yoda, how about this, man? Look, listen, I'm not out here saying I'm fucking Commando or fucking Schwarzenegger. But I'm ready when y'all Negroes is ready, man. Y'all pussy, man. I'm gonna just tell y'all right now. So just stop complaining. Hey Jay, they pussy, man. So stop complaining and worry about yourself, man. Like I said this the other episode, man. You ain't gonna change nothing. You can't even change yourself. You can't change your diet. Don't worry about it, bro. You ain't ready. Or bro or sister. Don't worry about it. You ain't fucking ready to change anything. So just forget about it. Make the best. The first thing you should do is change yourself. Worry about yourself, because you ain't gonna change shit. So stop worrying about it. Please stop going. Don't go online. Don't talk about. Yeah, don't talk about it. Don't discuss it. Don't have arguments in the house and argue with your friends about, for what? You ain't changing a damn thing. And that was my point about the whole, doing things that you're not going to be probably willing to do to change what needs to be done, man. And look, I got a family now. I'm doing well. I might be one of them. I might be one of them dudes who be like, I'm gonna sit this one out, y'all. Yeah, we grabbing AKs and we running up in. I might sit this one out. You know what? I'm worried about myself because, like I said, Jay, we do this show to help to try to change people's outlook on how they should view certain things. I don't know if we're doing that, but we are fighting the good fight. And that's all the fight that I don't want to speak for you, but that's all the fight I can give you right now at this point because I'm not gonna I'm not gonna put myself on the line for somebody that I know ain't gonna go there. And part of and Jay, and to take it a step further, Jay, that's part of the reason why, and I don't want to speak for you, why I omit certain things from or omit saying certain things on this show because I don't think they're ready. So we gonna put ourselves on the firing line for motherfuckers who ain't ready, Jay?
So, nah, I completely agree with that. And the way that I see it is, at a certain point, the question becomes, what is everybody truly fighting for? Because at one point, back in Malcolm X days, back in the Martin Luther King days, people were fighting for the right to go out and do things. And then they got that right. And they squandered it and did absolutely nothing with it. And now you could sit there and you can make these arguments that, yeah, certain people had a better start than you, and because of conditions from a while ago, you're in a worse starting place. Okay, sure, maybe that's true. But the point is, the barriers that were once there were removed. You used to not be allowed to go to certain stores and drink at certain water fountains. You can do that now. Now, yes, you can't go everywhere. Nobody can go everywhere, though. That's life. There is no one in the world who can freely go wherever they want without some sort of fear of violence. Animals can't even do that. That's just life. They can't do that in the ocean, and it's all connected. Sharks can't go by other sharks. Whales can't go where there's dolphin. Whatever the case may be. Everything has something to worry about if they go in the wrong place. That's life. But by and large, anybody can already do whatever it is that they want to do. Anybody can go out and get in shape. Anybody can go out and get a business, start a business. Anybody can write a book, make music, make a movie, start a podcast, make a YouTube channel, start a clothing line, or sell shoes, or own parking lots and real estate. Anyone can do any of these things if they figure out a way. And I believe that is the only freedom and equality that can ever truly be hoped for, is the idea that
Yep.
anybody can go out and try to do anything, because you can't you can't make everybody equal. If you give everybody in the world each $1 million and make everyone's $1 million worth the same thing, some people are going to make that a whole bunch more. Some people are going to do nothing with it. Some people are going to blow it all. That's just life. So the only way you could put everybody in the same position is this like constant correction of handicapping the people who are doing better and giving handouts to the people who don't want to try. And most people, the vast majority of people, at least in the Western world, are where it is that they are because they don't want to try to be somewhere else. So like you said, at a certain point, the question becomes, what is it exactly that we're fighting for? What is it that we would be sitting here going out and risking our lives for? Because it's not, no one can give you anything but opportunity, and everybody has the opportunity, and you squander it because you listen to the narratives of these people. Like nowadays, oppression is purely narrative based. It is mental mindset oppression. People are mental slaves to these things, to the ideas that get implanted in their head that they latch onto and say, I can't do this because of this. I can't do this because of that. Whatever the case may be, that you don't even try and you blame everybody else for it. And like we talk about all the time, you want to sit there and run around where we live in dangerous neighborhoods. No one's making y'all shoot each other, or they're not. Certain people don't want to hire us. A bunch of people get hired because you don't want to go and fit into the idea of the corporate world. That's somehow the fault of the corporate world. You don't want to be what it is that they're looking for. That's on nobody but you. So you were given these things. Malcolm X, Martin Luther, a bunch of people died for it, and y'all did absolutely nothing with it. So what are we going to do and sit here and speculate on the types of things that people get murdered for and then get murdered for you to continue doing nothing with it? Like, what's the point of that? So all we can sit here and do is offer perspectives
I
and
don't know.
ideas and shoot down narratives that you've been told and hope that you do something with it.
That's a fact. That's a fact, Jay. You know, Jay, I'm gonna name this podcast, Jay. I'm gonna name this podcast "Nice Guys Get Finished Last." Not nice guys finish last. Nice guys get finished last.
Facts.
You know, we on this show we talk all the time about fake morals and being a nice guy and playing the game and towing the line and acting according not according to nature, but just acting according to social standards or whatever the case may be. Those guys think they're going to survive. That's their survival mechanism. Jay, is to toe the line and yes sir, whatever you say and whatever you tell me is the truth and yes, I'll go ahead and shoot that in my arm. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna go do it because you said it, that you have my best interest, and that's what I'm gonna do because I'm a nice guy and I do everything that I'm told. Those guys think they're not gonna get finished. That's not the case. Just get finished last. It's people like me and Jay. They'll take us out first. But there's an honor in that. There is an honor in that. If I'm competing, right? I'm a competitor. If I'm competing and we're on a fucking game show or gladiators or whatever, I'm gonna go after the toughest adversary. I'm gonna go after the one that is the first person I'm gonna try to get out of the way. Doesn't mean that, you know, the weak guy with the glasses and the fucking pencil protector, that doesn't mean he ain't gonna get his ass finished too. Just means he's gonna be last. We're gonna save him for last. So yeah, if you think you're gonna just skate through this life and become everything that you want to be and get everything that you wanted out of life, being a fucking nice guy and conforming to whatever society wants you to conform. If you think you're going to be anything special, you have another thing coming. Jay, it's always it's always the guy who goes the opposite way that gets the attention. Always. There's only one Michael Jackson and Mike Tyson and Michael Jordan and fucking even the fucking people we don't like. There's only one Obama and Clinton and Trump, and there's only one of these people. Right? So if you think you're gonna just be, you think those motherfuckers toe the line? You think them motherfuckers do what they're told? Well, a couple of them, but maybe one or two of them was a bad example. But my point is, you know what I'm saying, Jake? But my point is, you know, you have to stand out from the crowd and don't conform to social normalities in order to try to think that you're going to be successful, because that's not going to happen.
Man, that's a fact. And I'm going to touch on what you said about there is honor in getting knocked off first. Like I'm aware that if you're a bitch, that sounds terrible, right? But here's the thing. Imagine you're in, I don't know, some sort of large store and somebody comes in who's going to shoot everybody, right? The person who tries to stop him will get shot first. But he got shot trying to do something. Everyone else is still going to get shot, but they're going to get shot cowering in the corner. So if you're all going to die, no matter what, you might as well die an honorable death and not die as a bitch. Because at some point, everybody's going to get got, and that's just what it is. So it comes down to how do you want to go out? Do you want to go out fighting, or do you want to go out cowering? Maybe you'll live a couple minutes longer because you thought that you could hide under the rest of the dead people or whatever. But what do you think that history is going to have to say about you, first and foremost? And secondly, if you believe in any degree of, like, everyone claims to be religious, if you have any degree of religious beliefs, belief in karma or whatever, who do you think is going to fare better universally? Is the person, the people who go out trying to stand up for something and to actually fight for something, or the people who go out letting those people defend them while they do nothing and wind up dying any damn way, like a loser? I don't know. Like you said, man, the person who sits there, just, you stay in your house, you get the shots, you call the men, the woman, you act feminine, you take the pills, you do this because they said that that's what you should do. Like, you're not safe either. You're just a little bit safe for a little bit longer. But in the overall scheme of things, what is your legacy? What is your story? What is the end? Because, like you said, the people who get stories told about them, the people who people remember, are the ones who do something, the ones who stand up for something, who fight for something. People talk about Tupac still almost 30 years later because he died whilst standing for something. They're the same thing they're going to talk about Nipsey for a very long time. He died standing for something. And there are so many people. There are people who died yesterday that have already been forgotten about. No one even knows, because they stood for nothing. They did nothing. They fought for nothing. They didn't do anything but go with the flow, period. Like, you watch a kid's movie, like Nemo did something different. That's why they made a movie about finding his ass. All of the rest of the fish were just doing the regular little fish shit. No one cared about any of them. They were just random fish that were also in the water. Do you want to be a random ass fish, or do you want to be Nemo? Like, the choice is yours. The Lion King. There was mad lions. You cared about 4 of them. Like, because they were the ones doing something. Scar and Mufasa and Simba and the girl lion, whose name I can't think of, Nala. They were doing something. They mattered. They got a story told about them. The rest of them just existed and just went along with everything. And that's what most people are. Background lions. It's a risk. That's life.
Are they lions, man?
But for the sake of the Lion King analogy, in actuality, they would be lucky to be sheep. Lucky to be sheep.
Yeah, lucky.
I think if anything, it would be more like ants.
Ooh.
That is a shame.
Ants get stepped on. Jay.
And no one even knows.
They
get stepped on, and no one knows that it happened. There are people kill dozens of ants a day under their feet, not even knowing they were there. And despite what everyone wants to say, everyone is equally important and everyone equally
You want to
matters.
go out with like an ant?
What?
Damn.
Yeah. Like, that's what's going to happen if you don't do something. You're going to be casualties that no one even know went. You're not even going to get your name on a wall like the military people get. That should be depressing and infuriating to you.
That's trash, Jay.
Like, what a tragic way. What a tragic waste of life.
Nice guys get finished last.
Period.
Motherfucking, yo, man. Listen, man. You know what else, Jay? You know what I've noticed on a very difficult road to trying to accomplish all these different things. Not one time has being nice helped that one time. In fact, Jay, there are times that being nice was a detriment on the road to or the path to success. Being too nice was, or being nice at all, was a detriment to the end all be all goal. Um, there are certain things that nice or people who act nice can't and will not be willing to do. Right. And this is why certain people use words like, hey man, you're selfish. Um nice nice people aren't selfish. That's just stupid to me. You should worry about your fucking self, man. Yo, if you're not good, if you're not good, no one else can be good. So, like I said, there are times where being nice on the road to accomplishing great things was highly a deterrent, highly uh, counterintuitive, to use the word.
Man, there is a reason that nice used to mean simple and stupid, and people have conflated the idea of being nice with being kind. And for the most part, being nice just means going along and making sure that you never do anything that upsets anybody. And that's a path to nowhere, because as you want to grow in life and you want to level up and evolve, people are going to be upset at you, and that's life. And you have to be willing to pay that price if you're ever going to accomplish anything. But if you just go around worrying about the feelings of mediocre people, you're forever going to be a mediocre person, because those are the only people who are going to sit there and talk about you're not nice or you're selfish or you're whatever the case may be when you're trying to actually accomplish something. Because the people who have actually accomplished things understand what it takes to accomplish things. It's only the people who don't know, and they react accordingly and they treat you as such, and they tell you shouldn't be certain ways and you shouldn't do certain things and you shouldn't say certain things or act certain ways or whatever the case may be, because they don't know anything. All they know is make sure everyone else around me isn't mad or upset or doesn't have any negative feelings about me. And that's exactly why it is that they go nowhere, because they're so obsessed with pleasing people and being liked by the wrong people at that. Because if you want people to like you, at least try and get the people who matter to like you, not a bunch of nobodies, because who cares about that? And
Mm.
despite what it is that people say, some people don't matter. Most people don't matter. And why do you care about them? Like, you want to be somebody that matters? Worry about the people who do matter. Most people are incredibly replaceable and interchangeable. Just like we said earlier, they're ants. Most people could die right now and the world would not be affected in any way whatsoever. A funeral home would make a little bit of money and somebody would sell some flowers. But other than that, everything would continue going on exactly like it is that's going on. So the question becomes, what is it that you want to do in life? Do you want to be one of the ants who gets stepped on? Or do you want to be one of the people on your path to doing a thing who will, unfortunately, inadvertently step on some ants? Those are really your only two choices.
Absolutely correct, Jay. And if you notice, man, people who accomplish shit, they are looked at as not, or they have pissed somebody off. Trust and believe. You know why, Jay? Because I would say 99% of the time, and I don't know where I get these percentages from, but fuck it. 99% of the time, here we go with these statistics, Jay, and analytics, numbers, metrics. 99% of the time, Jay, um, if you're going to accomplish anything, you're gonna piss somebody off. You almost you almost have to. You know why? You know why, Jay? Success usually pisses people off. And on the road to success, it's also a lonely journey, right? Because not many people are going to be willing to do what you want to do at when you want to do it, and it's not a journey that you have 5 people or you carry 5 people along with you. It is a lonely journey. Um, and most of the time these lonely journeys, you're not no one's gonna think you're a nice person on these lonely journeys to accomplish great things. Like, okay, for instance, Jay, like on your path to become Yoda, Jason Lamar, who you are now, on your path, it wasn't a path that had 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9, 10 people accompanying you to on this journey. Like, that's not how your journey was walked. It was walked alone for the most part. Um, my journey was walked alone. Most journeys are walked alone. Nobody to single out somebody like Michael Jordan. People hate Michael Jordan. Like, the people who competed against him, they hated him. Kobe Bryant wasn't liked. You know, he was respected. Those people were respected. That's a big difference. They weren't necessarily liked, Jay. They were highly respected. And I'll take that over being liked any day.
I would actually argue that, yeah, the road to being successful is lonely. But I would also argue that the road to being a failure is equally as lonely. There's just people around you. But just because you have company, it doesn't mean that you're not alone. Like, you're the only one shouldering the weight of your own mediocrity and regrets. There might be people present while you're doing it, but they're not carrying that load with you. They're just there. So the question, it's at some point, regardless, in some capacity, no matter what it is that you do, whatever path you take is one of solitude. So where do you want that to lead? Do you want that to lead somewhere depressing, or do you want that to lead somewhere great? Because even in general, if you are hanging out with 10 failures, none of them are really your friends. None of them really like you. None of them really care about you, because if they did, they would tell you to be better. But when you try to be better, they're going to try and get you to not be better, because they don't want to feel bad about themselves. It's just selfish people hanging out together and preventing each other from succeeding in life. That's just being lonely stupidly. So if you're going to be alone, no matter what, you might as well accomplish something worth accomplishing. You might as well go do something worth doing, because again, all those people around, they don't like you either. So if people aren't going to like you, you might as well do what it is that you want to do while you're not being liked, rather than have a bunch of fake niceness with a bunch of fake people around you, because you're all a bunch of losers together and don't do anything but sit around and smoke weed and talk shit. And as soon as one of you tries to be better, then you all turn on that person. That's an even more stupid way to live. So go do something worthwhile. People are like you. Such is life. Who cares?
And it's crazy. We're right now we're being, I know, weirdly enough, it might sound weird, but right now we're being positive.
1000%.
You ever got to a point? Yeah, you ever got to a point, and you're probably at this point right now, Jay, where everyone, not everyone around you, but everyone you see online, or maybe you're not too close associates, or just people on the outskirts of your life, everyone is kind of, I'll speak for myself, everyone seems to be weird to me now, because it's almost like, nah, for real, right? Like, it's like everybody's weird to me. I don't know if that's where you're at with it now, but it's like, are you to the point, and I'll ask you this, are you to the point where when you say positive things to people, they make it sound like it's negative? like like how did you make that sound negative? Like, how is that, like yo, you could literally say, listen, dog, you're not going to get cancer. You're not going to get cancer. You're not going to get cancer. You are not. they will say something like, "You can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say that." So it's like, what do you mean? Like, so my point is like, if you say something, if you say something positive to someone negative, Jay, can you get positive back? Is that even a possibility? And if it's not, that means you have to change your negative surroundings. And I'm saying that to prove a point. You can, if you have negative people around you and you can't get positive out of them, then you need to leave the situation. And I've been in these experiences, Jay, where I'm like, I just said that. It sounded, I thought I was being positive, but they kind of spun it to where it wasn't positive. And was that negative? Me saying what I just said, you can make anything out of your life and you can do it, everything. Man, fuck that. Worry about yourself and fix yourself, and you spin that to make it sound like it's negative. I just wonder if you was at this point where everybody, if people kind of spun these things, or you spun your words around in these ways.
So almost every time I say something, but here's the thing: you say if you add a positive to a negative, right? If you add a positive and a negative, no matter what, it's going to come back as a net loss. If you add five and -3 gives you 2. You have 2, that's a positive number, but you had 5 before. Now you have less. If you add 5 to -6, you now have -1. So the negative always subtracts from the positive. Period. And negative people will take your positivity and they will give you negativity back, no matter what it is that you say. If you tell somebody, hey, it's your fault that you're fat and you could fix it, then somehow that's you being negative. If you tell somebody it's their fault that they're poor, it's you being negative. Even though what you're saying is you could better your situation, they will take that as the negative. And like you said with the thing of you're not going to get cancer, everything will be okay. Some people will respond, I don't want to hear that right now. Well, why not? What do you want to hear? You're going to get cancer and everything's going to be terrible forever and you're going to die? Because you don't want to hear that either. But you don't want to hear anything positive. You just want to sit there and complain. So what is it that you want? The amount, like, people have this thing, what is it they call it? Toxic positivity, which is the stupidest concept and or idea in the world to me, because being positive about something is never toxic or a bad thing. It never puts you in a worse situation. Even if, let's say I go get cancer right now and I say, cool, I will beat this and come out stronger for it. I'm being positive about it. How does this put me in a worse situation? Why should I sit here and say, oh no, I have cancer, poor me, my life is over and I'm probably going to die? How's that better? Because even if me being positive doesn't actually improve my chances with cancer and me being negative doesn't make them worse, at the very least, if I'm positive, I don't have cancer and am mad about it. But if I'm negative, now I have cancer and I'm upset. Why would I want 2 bad things? At least let me be in a good mood about it. There's something at least to be gained from taking a positive outlook on something, even if it doesn't actually affect the situation. At least I'm in a good mood. At least I didn't just get shot and I'm sad now, because that just makes things doubly worse. Now I have 2 things to worry about. Now I need to fix my mood and this bullet wound in me. But if I'm happy, if I'm positive, then hey, now I just have 1 problem to worry about. So I don't know. It's just such a weird thing. And I think that, like, you take negative people, pessimistic people, negative people will go outside on a sunny day and point out every single cloud that they see and completely ignore the sunshine, or they will find issues with the temperature, even though they didn't like it when it's colder. Now it's too hot. Sometimes it's too cold. The air's too warm. The air's too cool. The air is blowing too much. The air's not blowing. There will always be a problem because that's the only way that their mind works. All they can do is find problems, and they don't understand that's why they continue to have more problems, because you find what it is that you seek. And people can talk their little toxic positivity nonsense all day long, but at the end of the day, no matter what happens to me, I'm in a good mood, and so I'm in a better position than you, because maybe the exact same thing happens to both of us, but I'm happy and you're sad. I still rather be me, because now you have all of these things plus you're in a bad mood. I don't see how that helps anything on top of it. And it's the
it doesn't
at all, not even a little bit. Like,
not even
like the people who like to complain and vent and all of that whatnot, and then you tell them that things will be okay, or give them a different, better way to look at it, and they get mad at you like you've done something wrong for not joining in with their complaint. Like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to be miserable with you? And the answer is yes. That's exactly what they want. They're miserable, so they want everyone else to be miserable.
Yes.
And somehow I'm the problem because I'm in a good mood and I want you to be in a good mood. Somehow I'm the one with the problem. Somehow I'm the one who's out of touch. Somehow I'm the one who's toxic because I'm trying to get you in a better mood and you're trying to get me in a worse mood. And you're the one who's okay in your mind. But it's weird because these people, they just live in this fog and this cloud of negative stuff and everything's bad. And they just want to spread it around to everybody. Insanity.
I'm gonna leave you with this, Jay. And this is going off of that, kind of piggybacking off of this whole subject. And I want to know what you think about this, right? I just thought of this. What I've been thinking about this for a while. Even with the positivity, right? And this is why I think maybe people should keep certain things to themselves. Let's say you are being positive and you want to think positive, and you say, you know what, Jay, I'm not going to. Let's use cancer. I'm not going to get cancer. I take care of myself. I'm gonna do what's ever in my power not to get it. I'm not gonna get it. I'm speaking this, right? And it's supposed to be a positive thing. But now here's the thing. Conversely, Jay, there are people, and most people would then say, oh, you can't say that. But then it'd be like, well, if I did get cancer, would you be happy? And then it'll be like, I told you so. I told you not to say these things. I told you not to think these things. So then it's almost like, it's almost like, yeah, well, look, I had told him not to say that shit, man. Now look at him now. And then motherfucker's sick. So now it's like, Jay, you almost put it like this. I'm an energy guy. So when you put certain things out into the world and everyone else is so negative, they sometimes, maybe that energy is maybe not a good thing to have on your body, on your soul, to have so many people that want to be right. Yo, dog, I'm going to get $1 million. I'm going to get $1 million. I'm going to get $1 million. And then you have so many people conversely thinking, man, fuck him. Fuck him. Is it best to sometimes just keep this shit to yourself? Because so many people will feel, and they might not say it, and they might not express it, but the energy, and that's why when people put stuff on Instagram and they say, yo, man, I'm going out for a promotion, I hope I get this promotion or whatever. I don't like when people do that, because so many things could go wrong as far as energy. Like, there's so many people that you think people actually want you to do better, but that might not be the case. So my question is it sometimes better to keep most of this shit to your fucking self?
I think that it depends on the type of person that you are and what it is that you will do with the energy that you receive. Like, I'm a big believer that if you wish negativity onto someone else, then that's a way that you bring it upon yourself. And especially if you say you're going out for a promotion and I say, no, you're not going to get that promotion. If you take that and you don't receive it and don't accept it, then I can't really throw my negativity onto you. So I think it depends on what type of person you are, because a lot of people will say something like that and hear a bunch of other people saying something against it, and that will kill their own belief and their own conviction or whatever, and that will mess with their own thoughts and what it is that they're putting out themselves. So if you're that type of person, yeah, you should keep it to yourself. But I would argue that the more people who say negative things to you while you are the type of person who's able to keep your conviction and your belief will only benefit you, because they're giving you their energy.
1 second, Jen. 1 second. Not say, not express it through through words, energy.
Mm-hmm.
They just feel it. They might say something different. They might say, oh, congrats. But deep down, the energy is like, man, fuck this dude. Energy and spoken word are two different things, man. I've felt energy. It's hard to combat that, especially when there's maybe 100 people who feel like this, and it's two just your one energy, your one positive energy, and you got 100 people wishing, man, they're not saying it, they just feel it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
That's
I
hard to
think
combat. It's hard to combat.
it is, but then I think the much like anything, right? The combating of it just makes you stronger as a whole. Because
Do you even know it? Do you even know? Like, do you even like? You feel it. You feel like but you feel it, right? So, all right, how would you go about even like combating that? You
so
know?
I think it's the same for like if you ever like walked into a room, right, and it feels tense and whatever, and but then you're in there for a little while and that kind of goes away and that changes, right? So that's a result of you walking into the room and bringing what it is that you brought into the room, because ultimately your energy beats the other people's energy in there who's on some low level dumb shit, right? So that's what I'm saying. It depends on the type of person you are as a whole, like what it is that you do with something. Because some people will walk into a room and it feels down and it feels tense or whatever, and they match the energy of the room. But some people make the room match their energy. So and that depends on, again, who it is that you are, how it is that you carry yourself, and the type of conviction you have with what it is that you have going on. Because there are some people who will say they're not going to gossip or talk shit about people, but the more people that they're around who are doing it, the more that they slowly get converted over to that. But there are some people you can sit there and say, I'm not going to talk shit about this person. You could go in a room with 1,000 people doing it and still refuse to say the same thing. It's just like those conformity experiment things, right? There are some people who everyone else saying this is the line will say, oh yeah, that's the line. And there are some people who will listen to 8 million people say the line is this, and you'll still say, no, it's not. And I think that energy as a whole overrides all of the rest of it. Yeah, it's difficult. It's just like it's difficult to stand up there and tell all 8 million people that they're incorrect and what they're seeing is an apple, even though they said it's an orange. But some people are built like that. Some people are willing to do that and to say, nope, I don't care what any of you think. This is what I think here.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I
But
bring that
most
up, and
people
that
aren't.
makes me think. That's true, and that makes me think about a situation. It's different if you've never felt that type of energy. Um, a lot of celebrities feel this, right? I'm not a fucking celebrity, but I have been in situations where overwhelming energy is like, whoa, you know. One situation is where the whole thing, I got into the thing with Nicki Minaj back in the day, and I'm just bringing this up not to rehash anything, just to make an example. Um, I'm not even going to go into the details, but whatever the situation was, and after the fact, and it's crazy because the next day I felt the energy. I didn't even know what was going on. My boy called me, was like, "Yo, you been online?" And I'm like, "Oh, you was on whatever I think it was Twitter or whatever." "Yo, you went on Twitter?" I was like, "Nah," but I felt it. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew something was going on. I had no idea, Jay, but it was too overwhelming, right? The energy, and I'm like, "Nah, what's going on?" It was like, "Yo, you need to go on. You need to go online now." And I was like, "Oh shit, what's going on?" And I went online and seen it. I'm like, "Oh shit." And the energy was just like so many people wishing disparity or just despair. You felt it. I mean, it didn't keep me in the house or anything, but I felt it. You know what I'm saying? It was like, damn, this is the barbs was different. Like the energy was crazy. I didn't. You're right. If you're a weaker person, you ain't built for that type of shit. And I see you now. It kind of makes you see how celebrities kind of fall to the wayside, or they start complaining when a couple of fans put their energy on them, and they just get, and we look at it like, man, why are you bitching? But it's like, if you got 100,000 people calling you if you got 100,000 people wishing something on you, dog, you're gonna feel that, bro. You're gonna
Yeah.
feel that. So it comes. You're gonna feel it. It comes with it. I mean, it does come with the territory. But if you're not built for it, then you stay out of the arena. We say it all the time. The arena. If you're a gladiator, is okay. We can handle one. You can handle 1 arrow, 2 arrows, three arrows. 4. You've seen 300 where the sky is filled with arrows. That's the energy, and it's like, oh shit. Right. So
Yeah,
that's why I
when
say sometimes maybe keep it to yourself. Certain
so
things, maybe.
I mean, so here I fully agree with this. Sometimes like when that something like that is going on, whatever level it might be, you could like wake up and be like, something is off right now, and not specifically know what it
Yeah,
is, but you know that something's going on.
yeah.
But like me personally, I'm here for it. Like I said, I'm sure it wasn't to whatever degree of Nicki Minaj fandom that was, because I know how they go. But
That was crazy.
when I said that men who cry are basically women, I got drugged for that for weeks.
They was
And
on your
what
ass.
did I
They
do?
was
I
on
doubled
your
down.
ass. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I doubled down on it because I'm here for it. What are we doing? You
yeah,
know what I mean? Because it's like
yeah.
you can't let people dictate what it is that you're going to do, how it is that you feel, what it is that you think, how it is that you move. Like and I think that as a whole, everybody should be able to stand on whatever it is that they say. So if I say a thing, if I do a thing, it is because I believe it and I am here for it, whatever it is that might come with that. 10,000 people can get mad about it. 100,000 people could get mad about it. 1,000,000 people could get mad about it. But I still said it. This is still what it is that I think. So such is life. This is where we are right now. Get mad at me. Wish all the ill that you would like on me. I'm sure it's not the most pleasant thing in the world, but fuck it. I'm not going to die and you're not going to kill me. And if you are, then I won't care. So this is
Keep
where
that
it is that
energy.
we are with certain things. But, and that's, I think, like you said, like a lot of celebrities get. I think this is a big part of the problem too, is because people have gotten accustomed to the idea that they can bully people out of thinking things, and most people go with it. Like a celebrity, a famous person says, "I support Trump," or "I
Yep, yep.
still rock with Diddy," or whatever. Then they get attacked and they back down and they switch their whole entire stance on it. It's like, and that's a
Yep.
problem as a whole, is the caving to whatever sort of peer pressure or public scrutiny that you might get. And this just furthers this thing along. And this is why everybody feels the way that they do now about anybody who says anything that we don't like. We immediately attack and they need to change their position on it. Like at some point, people need to get used to the idea that everyone's not going to like everything that they say. You don't like it. Okay. I still said it. You don't agree with it. That's fine. But I still think it. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it, but I'm not changing it. And the more people do that, the more people will be able to once again speak their mind. Because we said a few episodes ago about how back in the day, back in the 90s, there were celebrities that supported the Republicans and there were celebrities that supported the Democrats. Now they all support the Democrats. And that's just weird to me. And I think that that's a product of people sitting there going and attacking everybody, of this whole cancel culture thing that they have. We don't like what this person said. We don't like what they think. We don't like that they still buy stuff from this store, even though we don't support this store. So cancel them. And people just cave to that. And all you're doing is giving power to a bunch of powerless people. And
We said this before. We said that, and y'all can't cancel the damn soul. We said that. So y'all can't
can't
cancel.
cancel anybody. Like, as long as people just go on and keep doing the thing, unless someone gets all of their platforms removed, that's the only semblance of canceling people that you can actually do. But
They can't do that.
No, they can't do. You can all get mad at it all you want to. Like,
You
but
can't
that's
do
the
that.
thing. With most people can't handle that, or they're beholden to PR teams or something like that. And that's the problem, and that's why everyone is going to get or has wound up getting funneled in one single direction because nobody has the confidence to go against the angry mob. So that just gives the mob power.
Well, listen, I'm here because I never did conform. Maybe if I did say and do things the regular old rapper way, maybe I would be, you know what I'm saying, Jay. Like,
Well,
I said that I said that to prove a point where it's like, yo, man, sometimes the energy is strong, but if you built to be in the arena, come on now, and this is what keeps people out of the arena, Jay. It's what keeps people out. Is what you just said exactly. And conversely, I don't mind that you don't want to jump into the arena with the rest of the gladiators to feel 100 arrows raining down on you. And we're comparing arrows, metaphorically comparing arrows to energy, bad energy. Um, it's okay. It's okay that Nicki Minaj fans hate Ransom or hated him or thought that he was nothing or broke or whatever the case may be. It was okay. It was okay then. I was just saying, like, you do feel that energy, and if you're not ready for it, if you're a pussy, it will eat you up and spit you out, dog.
so here's what I think people don't understand if they're stepping into this metaphorical arena. Whether people are cheering for you or booing you, they still paid money to see you. That's what matters at the end of the day.
That's what matters at the end of the day. Damn. Game within a motherfucking game, man. Listen. Hey man, listen, ain't too many better, man.
No,
Ain't too
ain't
many
too
better
many, ain't
stepping into this
zero.
arena.
Not
Yeah,
a not a
say
one.
that again. Listen, we're willing to take arrows other people are not willing to take. We are also ready to shoot arrows other people are not ready to shoot. So,
We have no
there
line
you
to
have it.
toe.
We have no line to toe. We went the opposite way. I don't want to laugh and chuckle with you motherfuckers, man. Yeah. Fuck out of here
You know,
with
I don't
that
care about
shit.
your weird outfits and Balenciaga shoes and none of that. And all y'all could be y'all little weird
Ah,
shoe club together. I want no
I can
parts of
have
it.
that shit, man.
No parts of
You can
it.
have the Gucci shirt that's tight around the belly with the pot belly. Y'all can have that, man.
Y'all do all the weird
I'm trying.
gimmicks and sit there and talk about a bunch of nothing and take stupid sides about stuff and say stuff that y'all know good and goddamn well you don't believe, but it's what you're supposed to say. No,
What you're supposed to
no.
say. It's
Everything
what you're
said
supposed to
here
say.
is fully thought and believed in.
That's a
Period.
fact. That's a fact. And we ain't backtracking on nothing. Nothing.
Give a fuck how
I'm
you
not
feel about it.
backtracking. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Whatever we say goes on this show. This is our fucking show. We get to do whatever the fuck we want to do.
Said it,
All
meant
right?
it, done.
You know what I'm saying? Nice guys.
Get finished last. Episode 24 right now. Come on, still just getting started and already killing everybody.
We still getting started. We getting the ball rolling, man. We just it's like AI, man. This is practice, man. We just practicing right now, really.
Talk about
We ain't even get to the practice playoffs. Look, we just practicing, man. We just working out all the things we working out. Boom, 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 boom. We getting there, man. Like and the crazy part is, it's no studio audience and big props and lights and scripts and none of that shit, man. None of that shit, man. Just two men discussing what needs to be discussed. And I don't want to get into another bag though, Jay, but we're gonna get it maybe next episode. We're gonna talk about y'all men not being men, man. I don't like the form of you guys. I don't like the form of you. We gotta shape up. We gotta shape up.
Yes, I'm all the way here for that one, because that needs to be discussed and broken down. So next time on Game Within a Game, get y'all shit together.